Alright, y'all, we here for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 3, Episode 8, I believe. Ray J, he came to his senses about helping Princess out with the wedding. He got a list of people that he wants to invite, and he has 5 pages of people. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, you trying to invite the whole goddamn LA and some more? You know what I'm saying? But, he even got his dentist up there. You know, she got her list and everything, and it's just, you know, a little small list, and she's like, she doesn't know if half of the people are going to come, including her mom and dad. She says her and her mom has gotten better, but she doesn't really talk to her dad, and, you know, he's never been there and everything, and she don't really have the support for her wedding that other people would have from their families and everything. And, he pretty much lets her know that his family will take care of her and make sure that she's good and give her the support that, you know, she needs. And also she mentions, you know, her grandma on her dad's side, and that's who she's the closest to on his side, and she doesn't know if she's going to be able to make it because she's sick all the time and, you know, can't travel by herself. Next we get Fizz and Will in the studio. You know, Willie starts to talk to Fizz about, you know, Shonda and Kaisha or whatever, and he's still trying to downplay the situation. Like, Willie is just a fucking liar. But anyways, you know, Fizz, he asks about the kids. Willie says that, you know, the kids can tell that there's some tension between them, and Fizz tells him what he gotta do, you know, to get his wife back or whatever, give her roses and candlelight dinner and all that other stuff. So moving on from that, we get Moniece rehearsing for her song called Bad Bitches Do. And Masika comes in and she tells Moniece pretty much what happened in the studio with Brandy and everything. And, you know, Mo says, you work with the grill master, calling Max the grill master or whatever. Moniece, you know, wants them to get double revenge on Brandy now that situation has happened. She said that some Becky DM'd her or whatever about Max, and, you know, Brandy knows that they used to hang out and everything, and so one day she went to go looking for Max, and she caught the Becky or whatever, and, you know, Brandy hopped through the window. You know, y'all know how Brandy do, like a chihuahua, as they said, and everything. And, you know, Mo, she wants to get her hands on the police report, and then invites and she says, I want to invite the likes of the chihuahua. And Masika is like, you know, like, why bring her to your event to fuck it up? And Moniece is like, I mean, you know, because there are going to be more. And Moniece says she hopes, you know, she destroys her marriage and all this other kind of stuff. And Masika says, you know, this is why Moniece is always in some shit, because she blows things out of proportion, and she doesn't have time for that shit. You know, the only thing she has time for is her child. And it's like, I mean, dang, Mo, you do come off like a miserable ass bitch. I mean, sitting up here always trying to, you know, interject yourself into somebody else's relationship or somebody else's marriage. It's like, you do come off like a miserable ass bitch. And really, you do have talent. And instead of sitting up here doing all this revenge plotting and shit, you need to be focused on putting some shit out there. Like, I mean, come on. So Princess is dress shopping with, you know, her best friends and everything. Ray J, he shows up, and, you know, he brings her grandma out and everything, and she gets, you know, emotional, and she talks, her grandma tells her that she's talked to, you know, Princess' dad and everything, and Princess lets her know, you know, I want my dad to walk me down the aisle, but I'm afraid that he might say no or whatever. And she explains how pretty much her dad checked out once him and her mother split up when she was only 5 years old, and it just would be very important to her if he walked her down. Nikki Baby, she brings Lyrica out after the fiasco that happened at Lyrica and A1's house. So she tells Nikki, you know, and also, also Nikki's hairstylist was there as well. But Lyrica is like, you know, I heard about you at Safari and everything. So Nikki pretty much tells her about the whole Safari and Rosa situation. And she says that, you know, now she's been missing Safari lately and all this stuff, and how she misses him and feels bad. I'm just like, You only saying that because this shit blew up in your face and because of the simple fact that Rosa brought somebody else at y'all last event. Girl, whatever. But anyways, so as she's, you know, talking about Safari and all this other stuff, that's when her hairstylist, Phil, he's like, well, hold on, I forgot to tell you this. Don't, you know, be mad. But my homegirl ran into him in Miami or whatever, and pretty much they had sex. So Nikki, she feeling some type, now she pressed about Safari or whatever and feeling some type of way. But didn't you tell these two motherfuckers that you was in a relationship with neither one? Oh, okay. But anyways, she pretty much wants to meet up with the girl Safari and see if she can get a vibe. Girl, whatever. Moving on from that, we get Willie. You know, he brings Shonda outside of their house to have like this romantic, you know, picnic or whatever you want to call it. And he's not expecting much, but he does want to break the ice. And she says she feel like he's only doing it because she found out about the shit that he was doing. And she says that she needs a man that's going to do stuff because he wants to, because he loves her, not, you know, because he fucked up. And, you know, she pretty much is expressing herself to Willie, and she says that she doesn't want to be there, and that she made her family a priority is something that he didn't do, and that she's forgiven him too much because, once again, we know that, you know, we found out that this is not the first time he's done something like this, and she's tired of the bullshit. And he was supposed to be an example for the kids and their marriage and everything, and, you know, you know, their marriage can't be fixed with them together. And it's just like I said, Willie, he's continuing to lie about the extent of the relationship that he had with Kaisha. Like, do you, like, what bitch is gonna, like, come all the way down here for a one-time thing that happened some years ago? Child, you don't go somewhere with that, Willie. I don't like Willie no more. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like Willie no more. It's just really fucked up. So Princess and Brandy, they meet up or whatever. You know, Princess is like, you know, did you get a DM from Moniece and everything? And, you know, Brandy, she looks or whatever. And apparently they both were tagged to come to Moniece's listening party. Princess said, you know, that they should go. Brandy says, no, you're in a different place now, whatever. You're happy or whatever. And Princess said, but yeah, let's just go get a good laugh or whatever. And, they start talking about Moniece's record or whatever, and says that, you know, Brandy is saying that, you know, Moniece needs some concealer or whatever from them bags under her eyes before she could sit up here and talk about she a bad bitch and all this other stuff. I'm like, see, y'all being just as petty as her because y'all know this shit is going to be a fucking disaster. But anyways, Ray J, Soulja Boy, A1, and Safari. So, they're there for Drake testing for Ray J's wedding and everything. Ray J, he asks about, you know, what happened with Nikki or whatever. They're pretty much giving the whole rundown for Soulja Boy since he's kind of out of the loop. And, you know, Safari, he says he used to jack off to Rosa Acosta's calendars and DVDs back in the day or whatever. And, he tells Ray J, yeah, I said what you told me to say, but I didn't get it all. So, you know, Ray J, he's disappointed or whatever. Safari tells, you know, them that Rosa started bucking on him. And, you know, Nikki, she, like, pretty much was not here for him saying that and all this other stuff. But he says that Nikki does want to meet up with him and everything. A1 already knew that plan was not going to work from Jump Street and that he would not be taking advice from no dude like Ray J. Ray J talks about getting an earbud for Safari or whatever so Ray J can coach him and all this other stuff and what to say on this meeting with Nikki. Safari, he wasn't too sure about Ray J's advice from the Jump Street, but he decides he's going to take his advice one more time. I said, this dumb motherfucker here, but whatever, we gonna see how that goes. So we're at, you know, Moniece's event and everything. Masika asks, you know, is the Bad Dog crew coming, referring to Princess and Brandy and everything. And Moniece is not sure. She, you know, she says this is not about Princess. This is about Brandy or whatever. They walk on in, Princess and Brandy, with somebody else that's, you know, friends with Brandy. That's when Moniece, she takes it upon herself to get on the mic and everything, and she exposes Brandy, and everyone is laughing at her. And you know, Brandy, in her confessional, she's saying that it was a very dangerous situation, and that's why the police had to be called. It had nothing to do with her husband. Now, I mean, I don't know what that means or whatever. I'm not, like, listen, I don't know if the situation happened, or if it happened, or if it didn't happen. I'm not surprised if it did, because just what we seen of Brandy on this show, always trying to charge at somebody. But she says that Moniece is lying and that she's a joke. Princess is trying to fight her yet again. And Brandy's defense, knowing damn well security is not going to let her fight Moniece, so she just needs to give it the fuck up. You know, she knew that, like Princess says that she knew that Moniece wasn't inviting them on some grown woman shit, so why the fuck y'all show up for then? And Princess, you was the main one egging Brandy on for y'all to show up to that event. So if you knew that, why would you show up there? Y'all both, all of y'all are being childish and petty at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like y'all should have just skipped out on the event and saved yourself the embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, Moniece, you do come off like a miserable ass bitch, and like you have nothing better else to do. You know what I'm saying? And Masika says that she doesn't understand what Moniece got out of that situation, and that's just gonna give Brandy a reason to continue to bark. I'm like, well, Masika, you done put yourself in the situation, so I don't really got nothing for you neither. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, it's just childish and all this other stuff. Like, I mean, people gonna talk about you and everything. Like, Moniece just always has to find a reason to just be petty off of every little thing. Some shit you just gotta let go. You feel what I'm saying? And let's be honest. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have tried to jump you last reunion and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't like Brandy, but at the same time, I mean, you kind of have shown us you're not really the best mother. So, and then you doing this just kind of further shows it even more. So, yeah, I just, whatever, you know. Willie decides he's going to give Shonda her space and move out and move in with Fizz, I think. Moving on from that, we get Ray J and Soulja Boy. They're in the car, you know, coaching Safari on what to say to Nikki. So Ray J, he says, you know, you got me fucked up. And Safari, he repeats it. Nikki says, you know, don't address me like that. Say hi, nice to see you, or whatever. Ray J says, I'll address you however I want to address you. And, you know, Safari repeats it. Nikki says, you know, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, but you're not talking to me like that, or whatever. Ray J says, but I walked in on you with another bitch and everything. Safari repeats it. And Nikki was like, oh, I didn't know you was mad about that, this, that, and the third. And, you know, he asks her about Rosa and everything. And she says, you know, Rosa is pretty much mad and all this other stuff. And she's not going to keep on apologizing for what happened and all this other stuff. He said he would never have her out here looking crazy while he's out of town and all this other stuff. And he puts his all into it. He puts his mind, body, and face into it, in words of Ray J. And so, you know, Ray J and Soulja Boy, they are in the car cracking the hell up. So she lets him know that, you know, she has a friend for him that wants to meet him for the second time and everything. So Ray J says, as long as you with it, I'm with it, because I want it all. And Safari repeats it. And the girl, she comes and her face is blurred out for whatever reason. I don't know if she just didn't want to be shown on camera or something. I don't know. But, you know, Safari like, I don't know this girl. And she like, oh, you don't know me and all this other stuff. Ray J and Soulja Boy, they looking confused. They like, this was not a part of the plan. She throwing a wrench into the plan and all this other stuff. Ray J thinking that, you know, it was going to be Rosa that comes out, but not some random female. So Safaree says he would never touch that girl with a 30-foot pole, and she was like, I have a picture of you touching me and all this other stuff. Soulja Boy, he takes over and says, man, tell her she a fan and all this other stuff. So he repeats it, and Safaree, he's looking closer at the picture and says, yeah, man, we was outside on the strip or whatever. And, you know, he says that the girl looks like a stick or whatever, and he can't believe that Nicki would even believe that he would mess with her, you know, because he messes with girls that got curves and all this other stuff. Soulja Boy, he asks what happened and everything. Ray J said they trying to set you up, you know what I'm saying? And Safaree says that Nicki is the problem and not him and Rosa. And I don't believe, you know, he did anything with that girl. He probably did just take, you know, a picture with her and all this other stuff because people do like Safaree, you know what I'm saying, believe it or not. But people, I mean, Safaree is not, he's just a cornball. I'm not saying like he's just a bad dude. He's just a cornball, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, y'all, but that whole situation, I don't believe it. Damn, I didn't know that was the end of the episode, but yeah, that was it. The whole scene with Ray J and Safaree and Soulja Boy and Nicki and whatever. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not going to do the Hip Hop Awards. I'm sorry, y'all. I just felt like it is not worth reviewing. I do apologize. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.